Hey everybody. Uh, I figured I'd do a video. Some people asked to hear some family lore. So I figured I'm going to do this video. It's going to be kind of different. I'm going to tell some family lore with some stories my parents heard from other people when they went to Manchester, England about Bagley Hall, and some confirmation with some of the stories. So here we go. So the first one I was ever told about was two brothers, and it's probably in the 1300s, maybe even earlier when this took place. Really, no record of it, just an oral story that was passed down. So, two brothers were in contention for their birthrights in Bagley Hall, and so they decided that they would race down the steps on little chariots, like little forms of chariots, and whoever would win would get the other's birthright. Well, in the process of them doing this, they both got killed. So after that, they always said you could hear them going down the steps and see their ghosts by the steps, which was a story that was told to me when I was growing up by my great uncle Saul. But the interesting thing is, my one friend, David Hartley Bell, he's a member of Friends of Bagley Hall. He told me that a friend of his actually broke in the hall, and when he was in the hall, he seen a ghost by the steps, which was pretty crazy. We had that story. Then his friend actually said they seen a ghost by the steps. So, you know, that's one of the stories that was told to me. And the other interesting one, and I was reluctant. I've never really told this one. Well, just because it involved, well, I'll just tell you the story. So this was probably the reign of Henry II or Henry III when this probably took place. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking it's pretty ancient. There was a guy that worked for the Lord of Bagley, one of the lords of Bagley, and his son, while he was at work one day, got burned up in a fire at his house. So they investigated it and stuff, and some people think maybe he killed his own son, but there was really no evidence, so he was found not guilty. And after that, everybody said you used to see what was called the burnt boy of Bagley that would be walking around. And so that was just a story that was passed down. But the funny thing is, when my parents went over there, they met this old doctor. He's probably dead now, and he knew this story. He said the IRA came over and they were trying to burn Bagley Hall down, and they couldn't get the timbers to ignite, and they got scared off. He said it was the ghost of a burnt boy that ran these IRA guys off from burning the hall down. So he's kind of like a protective spirit. But I thought that one was pretty cool. And the other was my friend who's now deceased. She lived there in the Shaw, and her name was Nikki Shaman Carroll. And well, Nikki Carroll, but I called her the Gypsy Queen of Bagley. So she went on the grounds and she investigated it. Now, one of the things that me and her talked about before our investigation was there's always been a rumor of fairies, like that inhabited the area of Bagley at one time. So years and years ago, there was a tumulus, a hill, and they dug into it and they found like a Bronze Age hammer and stuff like that. But they always thought it was like a fairy fort of sorts, and they thought there was fairies and inhabited it, so that was one thing she talked about. But she went on the grounds, and you can see the video on my page, my YouTube page here, and it's the Ghosts of Bagley Hall, and all those pictures are pictures she gave me from her investigation. And one was they all seen it with their eyes, was a knight walking up the pathway to the hall, and they took a picture, and they actually caught a picture of this knight on their phones. And the interesting thing is my friend David Bell Hartley said that he had another friend that actually seen a ghost of a night walking up the pathway there. So it was kind of confirmation of that story. Now the other one was the ghostly dog or black shuck that's been passed down our family. It's one I never really talked much about because it's supposed to be an omen, but anyways, I wrote a book called Mego's Curse, and it was kind of based off that story of this black shuck, this ghostly hound that, it's like a big mastiff that inhabits the family. And then, so I wrote a novel based off that, and after that, you know what I mean, it's just a ghost story that was passed down to family. But if you see it, supposedly somebody will pass on from the family after it's seen. But at any rate, that's some of the ghost stories. I want to share them. See my pumpkin in the back. And share you a few Halloween stories. I'm here at my house. I'll show you my backyard. Check it out. You can see my pool. Can you see it? There it is. Oh. This is my pool. This is my house. This is my little area. Show that off for everybody. It's like thinking I'm trying to get Bagley Hall, like I'm going to try to get some money out of it, because that's not the deal. I'm getting Bagley Hall. I'm just trying to get it out of a quest, per se, a love for it, to get it back in the family, and for it to serve the community. So, I mean, I live good here. I mean, I'm not wanting to move into a medieval hall. I'm wanting to try to keep it as original as possible, and it to benefit the community, and hopefully make it like almost a non-profit where, it's just the hall is being took care of and the community's being took care of. But ask your guys for your support. Everybody that's in the Shaw, everybody that's in Bagley, Bench Hill, Northern, and support me. That's it. I hope you like these stories, though. And doing this late at night, I just figured I'd shoot it out there. People's been asking for it, and I finally got in the mood to finally do it. Half tired, though, but I figured I'd share these stories because people are wanting to hear it. Getting close to Halloween, so you guys have a blessed night and have a good work week. Thank you.